Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Easy.
What's going on? It is your boy Ryan with some. Bear with me 1 second, guys.
Woo, man.
Technology issue on my end.
Yeah, that 5 minutes goes by quick.
Reason.
Well, this is Turtle Soup, everybody. The world's only listener support. We're not even listener anymore, Ryan. We're community supported because
it's viewers.
Viewers. We have people
it's
with
listeners, viewers. It's everybody.
Everybody. That's one of our main reasons why we wanted to come to YouTube was because we wanted to encompass everyone and who supports us and who listens to us and who is as passionate enough about the Turtles as we are to join us on the journey. And so, yeah, that's why we're here. And thanks to everyone who jumped on early with us about 30 minutes ago and got into the chat. And we had it was very edifying, very educational. A little bit more than I thought it would.
We talked about some words.
We did.
Chagrin.
And
being peaked.
Peaked. Yeah, Pique. There you go.
Yes.
And then we had like a science experiment. It was wild. Like, I'm going to be honest, I was not expecting it to be like all of that. It was so much fun. So thank you for everyone who showed up. And if you missed it,
yes,
check back next Thursday because we'll be here. Same turtle, same shell time, same shell channel. Does that work? Maybe.
Yes.
I like it. Or soup time? I don't know. You let us know.
I apologize. My tech issues are resolved.
Yeah. Excellent.
I am recording on my end.
Awesome. Okay. So yeah.
So what's
Oh, yep. Oh my goodness.
Let me pull our notes up.
All right. No, you're good. You're good.
Funny thing on me.
This is the beauty.
It wouldn't like the window wouldn't come up. It was
open.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't come up. Hey. They have
so
a pill for that.
Ready, guys? You ready? Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Ryan.
And it's your boy Easy.
And this is Turtle Soup, the internet, nay, the world, nay, the communities, nay, everyone's only listener, viewer, everyone supported podcast dedicated to the ongoing journey of the TMNT all the way from the very beginning until I work up the resolve to snipe the frogs in my pool.
To snipe them? Like kill them? Like with a gun?
Oh, we're going to talk about it.
Goodness.
Talk about it.
Okay.
I'm facing a dilemma. Yeah?
Now this is not the. Is this the? I get confused because when we have, that's amazing. That's straw. When we have our after show post show chats, if you will, I hear an animal outside, and I think you've referred to it as both a frog and a turtle. But is this the thing in question, or are we going to talk about that later?
I had a belief that it was a turtle.
Okay,
but I spied it making its sound.
Oh,
it was a frog.
Goodness.
And there are several.
Okay.
Also, there are several people watching us on YouTube, and we are live on YouTube, so be sure
Indeed.
to subscribe.
Yes.
Hit the bell icon and all that stuff. Also, if you could share the stream on social media while we're live, it can help people know that we're here and that you're watching, and it would be pretty sweet.
It would be.
Things that are sweet often come in pairs.
Indeed.
The frogs out in my pool, they're
Yep.
a pair.
Yep.
That's not very sweet, but normally, sweet things. It's like one after the other. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And today's episode is brought to you by two sweet patrons, and those would be Mick Lockyer and Joseph Pills.
Indeed.
You know what I'm saying? So
two of the sweetest.
Gotta give it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. So, guys, thank you so much, guys, for helping to prevent the Foot Clan from destroying the podcast.
Yes. What are we covering today in the journey, Eric? Where are we in the journey?
Where are we? Well, today we have another Bag of Tricks episode. So this is going to be, we're digging deep. This is volume 2 of our live appearances that we've missed from the TMNT. And we're going all the way back to 1994, Ryan, the year 1994. I remember it well. Do you?
Yes.
Indeed. So I think I would have been 11, so you were probably 12. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, pivotal years. We're going to be reviewing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Turtle Tunes and/or/both because they came in a paired, conjoined Cassettte and also separate ones.
They are brethren.
Right. But they are now digitally available for whoever wants to see them on the YouTube, which check the description below. But we're doing Turtle Tunes, and we wish you a Turtle Christmas. And before we get started, we would again like to submit these for the approval of the Midnight Society because they are horrifying.
Yes.
Nightmare
Putting
fuel.
the sand in the fire.
Yep.
It's a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing it.
We are doing it, and it is. Don't watch it in the dark. I wouldn't watch it at night at all, certainly, and not alone. Definitely not alone.
I mean, we're gonna get into it, but like, no joke. Like, if you've seen these, like, I guess you might be in maybe it's a certain frame of mind or something that gets you there, but they can be creepy.
Yeah,
they're a little creepy.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
We Wish You a Turtle Christmas is more creepy than Turtle Tunes.
I think it's because Christmas happens at night. Like it's a night, mostly night stuff, and I think that has something to do with it.
And Splinter.
Yes, yeah, Splinter.
And Splinter
he makes
happens
an appearance.
Turtle Christmas. So
yeah.
Anyways, so where are we at today, Eric?
Where are we at today?
How have you been, buddy?
I've been okay. I've just been what have I been doing? Mostly a lot of behind the scenes stuff for the show, making different things and trying different stuff and getting better with like all the Adobe stuff and just trying to up the game of the soup, if you will, for the fans because y'all are supporting us and we just want to bring a good product to you. So hopefully we're doing that. And so just trying to get that. When you're you have a task that you're going to have to repeat multiple times. Like you're going to have to do this chore, chore is a bad word, but like this thing constantly. So you have to like just dive in and then you get familiar and then you get a template and then then the template drastically cuts your development time and like all that stuff in just, completely. Well, I'm so eagerly anticipating that, but it's just like I'm on the precipice of it, Ryan, but it's like it's just out of reach. And I just be so happy whenever like I've got to where I'm like streamlined everything and everything works perfectly. But that's a thing for tomorrow's Eric. But other than that, I just started watching the Invincible cartoon that's coming on Amazon Prime, and it's pretty good. It's a little weird. So the dialogue is not quite as sharp as I'd like for it to be, like within, I think from like an editing perspective, I think it's a little or maybe it's too sharp. Something's a little off with it in my opinion, but then again, it could just be like the first 2 episodes are this way and then it goes, but those are the only 2 I've seen. But you and I've both read Invincible, and for the most part, I mean, I loved it, but I know you liked the majority of it.
No, it was really, there's a lot of that comic that I really like. So.
Well, like they handle the gore like pretty good, like and
nice.
And the big thing about that book is its coloring, and just how just vibrant and just beautiful it is. And they get, if they don't nail it, they get pretty close to it, and it's really neat seeing something that handled with at least what presumably is a little bit of care, that you care about yourself, and it's nice to see that from a higher production value, which I'm sure came from the pocket of Kirkman, from Walking Dead and all that. So that had to help out a little bit.
They got that zombie money.
They got that zombie money.
So like they should be good. You know what I mean? Like,
because the zombies can't take it with them.
Barely never finished a thing he ever started.
Right.
Zombie money. You know
He does. But speaking of zombie money, how are you doing?
Oh, well, first of all, like I've got all the zombie money as well. I've just been counting that, and I've had time to count my zombie money because I have been plagued by frogs. Now, let me set this scene. They're not like little frogs.
Okay.
This is my friend Brad said that I got Sawyered. If anybody's watched Lost, there is a whole subplot to one episode where Sawyer has these like little teeny frogs that are like, and one's keeping him up at night, and he's trying to like shoot it and kill it or whatever, and he can't. It becomes this whole analogy for the fact that like things get to him, and it's almost it almost starts to feel like almost like it's being done to him on purpose, like by fate or whatever.
Right.
So in that instance, Sawyer he was a big, strong man that was beset by some little frogs, and he was going nuts. Here, I'm a big man. Don't know if I'm a strong man, but the frogs in my pool are like the size of your fist or even bigger. I thought they were turtles because we have turtles in the pool. Our pool is still, this many years later, is still not repaired.
Oh, goodness.
So it things just live in it. And yeah, so we had so I had something was croaking out there, but the croak didn't sound like a frog croak. You know what I'm saying? I've lived in front of my life, and I've heard frogs. It sounded different, like throaty and weird, and I was like, it's got to be those turtles doing that. But one day I caught myself a glimpse. I was out on the back porch, sound. I just looked in and I saw this big dude floating in the water, and in time with a like his like neck is like bloating out, and I'm like,
right.
Well, they got to me now. They go all night. 2 of them back and forth, call and response. Okay, and I'm like, all right, look, like I can't if I'm having trouble sleeping,
right,
they keep me up. Like, if I don't drift off to sleep naturally quick enough, they keep me up.
That's obnoxious.
So I've had the thought lately, because I have a BB gun. I had the thought lately of locking and loading.
Yeah.
And just sniping myself a couple frogs. Now, I come to this conclusion with a lot of reticence.
Okay.
I'm not really a hunting kind of guy. I would definitely not kill an animal for sport. But this is like a pest problem.
Right. Right.
And I hate to say it because it's the natural order of things, but if those frogs cause me to not be able to sleep, like, there's only so far that like coexist, like that works. Like,
right.
I hate to say it, I hate to pull the species card, but I am a higher evolved species, and I have the tools to eliminate those guys. So
you do. So I got 2 questions. One, are they punk frogs?
Certainly not.
Okay, cool. Because if you did, there's all kinds of problems with that.
They could not be made into slaves.
Okay.
I'm sure the turtles would have done it by now if that was the case.
Or Shredder would have done it. Yeah. But the second one is, to your point, that so let's say if you follow it to its logical conclusion, you don't get enough sleep. You sleep through your alarm, or the fact that you don't get enough sleep affects your job. You get fired. You don't have money, and your wife leaves you for some reason, and then she becomes something and goes off, and then your kids are left to you, and just hypothetically, then they can't eat, but those frogs are still there. You got to choose between your kids or the frogs. You know what I'm saying? And I might be speaking out of turn, but I think the frogs are going to go, right? So,
I mean, I've thought as far as sighting my BB gun in at that distance.
Goodness.
Because and hear me out. It's not so I could. It's not to be cool.
Right.
It's actually out of an abundance of caution to make sure that if I shoot it, I kill it.
Oh yeah, because you don't want to maim it.
I don't want to maim it.
Yeah, no, you don't want to do that.
I honestly, I've put way too much thought into this, but like I've thought about standing up and getting like a white piece of paper that would be like parallel with where the pool would be at the same distance,
right?
And doing target practice to know if like the BB drops and know if I need to aim higher or whatever, because I don't want to make it a thing,
right?
Like, now you might ask yourself, can you like capture the frogs and remove them? And I've thought of that too. But the problem is there's like a wooden mesh like cap over the pool so people don't fall into it. It's old and I can't move it because it's heavy as shit. And I can't get the mount. Yes. So I just have a conundrum.
Now,
Greg in the chat asks, Father Greg, or sorry, Friar Greg.
Farmer Greg. There you go. There's a lot of F's and a lot of PH's. So,
man, dude, coming back, trying to get in here in time for the show, I dead serious. I tripped a little bit in the hallway, and then I sat down, and the minute I sat down, like a little spit went down my throat the wrong way.
Oh yeah.
And then Pro Tools went open. It's messed me up this entire time. I'm calling people the wrong name. I mean, Welcome to showbiz.
What?
Farmer Greg asks if they're cane toads, and if they are, they're non-native species of Florida and they are poisonous.
Ooh.
I don't believe they are. I think I've seen frogs like them before. They are definitely not like they're in the toad variety.
Okay.
For sure, because they're just so big. But they could be bullfrogs, but I feel like they don't look like bullfrogs. Anyway, I'm working it out. You might get an update next week.
Okay.
There goes one of them right now. I can hear him right now.
Oh my goodness. Well, so real quick, and I don't want to stay too much longer on this, but you said that it's a pest problem, and I agree, but like, do they technically classify as a pest that you can call pest control and get them to come out? But then again, that's, you got to pay for that. But
no, I believe that pest control is typically like insects, like
and vermin.
Yeah. I don't want to shoot frogs, but
yeah.
I at the same time I'm at my wit's end. It's getting to be summer, pretty soon, and I think about there's a reason they're out there croaking.
That's true. They're just going to make
They're
more.
For a partner.
They are.
They want more babies.
What?
And then I can't have that.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I go insane.
Yeah,
I had
indeed.
A dream the other night. I had a dream the other night that those two frogs got in our house, and I was like, perfect. Now we're gonna kill them. And that the kids and Alicia like basically said you can't kill them because they got in fair and square.
That those are frog rules.
And like,
in case you didn't know,
they got it, yeah.
That's
they got in fair and square
in Florida.
And now they're just like they live in our house now.
In Florida, that's the thing. If a frog gets in your house, you can't kill it until it leaves because that's.
What's funny is so we've had frogs, normal frogs, get in our house before, and we just like scoop them up in a cup and put them outside. Like
yeah.
Like I before we move on from this, I have to stress that I am not a person that kills animals. I don't do that. Like I just don't. Like and I desperately try not to. If there's a spider that say comes around and like annoys like Kara in particular, like we try to move it. We put it outside. I know that's stupid because like it's a spider. If it wants back in, it finds the hidey hole it came in from. I mean, it didn't walk through the front door. You know what I'm saying? It didn't knock twice and ask if we'd heard the good news. I mean like this thing came in from some other place.
Right.
So I know this, but we still do that. But anyway, you might get an update because
okay, I'll look forward to it because this is pertinent.
Maybe I'll come up with what I need to do the job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and if anyone has suggestions, email us, turtlesoupshow@gmail.com, or hop on and write in the chat, whatever you got to do. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think Ryan should do about getting his his frog pest problem fixed. And there you go. So
are you ready for some emails? Are you ready to email it up?
I am. I thought you were going to go into Monday Night Football mode, but and appropriate that song.
Are you ready for some emails? Like that?
Yeah, just like that.
I bet you we can get like maybe not. We could probably get Hank Williams III to make us the theme song.
Oh, I'm sure there's a Hank Williams that we could get that needs some money that we could get.
True.
Like we'll find us a Hank Williams. Right? Yeah.
Doesn't have blood.
No. But
there's got to be a Hank Williams that can sing "Are you ready for some football?" But it would be, "Are you ready for the podcast?"
Yeah.
Podcast. I don't know.
Right.
We have to figure it out. Anyway. We have a good number of emails, so I'm gonna try to blow through these.
Let's blow them.
We love it when you guys email the show. It's fantastic. And we didn't do them last week, so I feel bad about that. So we got them in this week. The first one comes from our tinfoil hat correspondent. This is the one that shall remain unidentified because they use what looks like a VPN when they send emails.
Yeah.
And not like I'm trying to like track anybody by email, but it's interesting. So the subject line is, "Why no show?" Now, this was I guess written in the gap that we took, the 2-week break we took before coming onto YouTube for 250.
Right.
And it says, "I have breaking news. My insiders informed me that why there wasn't a show last week." Let me move my notes a little bit. There we go. "I feared it was Bigfoot. He said his agent Swamp Ape kidnapped Ryan and Eric. They knew too much." Tinfoil hat correspondent. Short and sweet.
Yeah.
I can't. So, I mean, obviously, we have a cover story for why we didn't do episodes for a couple weeks,
right?
You know,
but
and you can choose to believe it.
Mhm.
We would love you to.
Yes,
and it could be the truth,
we can't confirm nor deny.
but all I'm saying is, like, Swamp Baby, if you're watching, like, I told you what I'll do with the BB gun if you come back. That's all I'm saying. Like, I'm hesitating on these frogs,
Yeah, but not on the Swamp Ape.
but I won't hesitate with you.
Oh goodness.
You're packing too, aren't you? You got your BB gun, don't you still? Or did
Hey,
you bend it up?
A lady never tells. So,
Shit.
yeah.
Oh, you don't know what you're gonna get.
You don't know. I like to keep them guessing.
So, this is a fun one.
Okay.
So this one is, the subject line is, this is from Brittany, and it says, "The wife always knows."
Ooh.
You ready for this?
I am.
This email is in response to an email sent in on your last podcast from the gentleman who is so excited to place a figurine in his cabinet. I think he thinks he is hiding it, but his wife knows. She is letting him get away with a single figurine.
Huh.
If he starts to get confident and places a second figurine in the cabinet, that is when he should watch out.
Goodness.
She will swipe them both, and he will be left with only sadness. Husband thinks we don't take notice, but the wives always know.
The wives always know.
All the best, the all-knowing wife. You know what I'm saying?
Goodness. Yeah.
Now, just so we don't because apparently wife knows.
Oh yeah.
We're not gonna incriminate
No.
the Turtletarian.
No, not at
who was
all.
dropping figures. But in a special message that is in no way like supposed to like be like a warning or any kind of thing. You know, I'm just saying words right now because
Right.
I mean, you heard me. I had such a hard time with the beginning of the show. I'm all over the place. She knows, man. She fucking knows. She knows. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So cool. Yeah, but she knows. I mean, I'm not gonna say that. So this next one is from Duncan Gale, and the subject line is, "Ken Mitroni owes me $5."
I saw that in the box. That's too good. I can't wait to hear this.
Yeah. So it says, "Hey Ryan and Easy."
Hey.
And he starts off saying, like, "Look, like, I understand. You know, I try to keep as brief as I could, but it's a pretty good story. Wanted to share it, so we're gonna blow through it because it's pretty funny. You ready?
Go for it. Let's do it.
Here we go. So the following story takes place at the last San Diego Comic-Con that met in person in the summer of 2019. And before I get into it, I just want to state that I totally agree with the general sentiments expressed by Ryan in the boner episodes. Those are our bonus episodes. The No Homework Zone, by the way.
Yeah.
Regarding which you can become if you're a patron, $5 and up.
Mhm.
Let's see. Regarding the toxic elitism and gatekeeping culture of conventions in general.
Mhm.
Here's my own personal experience, although I've lived in Southern California for the last decade. I'm actually a fellow East Coaster and Southerner, originally from Virginia. And growing up, I remember seeing ads in Wizard magazine for the San Diego Comic-Con with that magical toucan. I didn't know exactly where San Diego was. I just knew that it was impossibly far away from me. So now that I actually live a mere 2-hour drive from there, I figured I had to go to Comic-Con at least once. And although it was a total pain in the ass to get tickets, I managed to do so. And it may well turn out to be the only time I ever end up getting to go. Anyway, on my last day of Comic-Con in the ridiculously crowded exhibition hall, I'm trying to meet as many different people in Artist Alley as I can. I see a nameplate for Ken Mitroni, and I kind of can't believe it.
Mhm.
I'm one of those fortunate souls who follow TMNT Ventures in real time, which...
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I am
if I could go
so
back
jealous.
in time, like,
yeah.
that's one of the things I would fix. You know what I'm saying?
It's
Like,
it's up there
that's
with like 9/11 and and then be day and date on adventures. That's it.
yes, I mean that's like one or two. And keep Jericho going. I mean, Jericho,
Yeah. Send more peanuts into
so-
NBC and yeah.
Yes. Oh, and I'm buried in the peanuts, and I pop out like, with a gun,
I-
and I'm like,
and I'm
"Oh,
dre-
that's fucking
I'm
shit,"
dressed-
You know, it's all,
We could be buried in the peanuts dressed as Mr. Peanut, holding
Ooh.
holding a copy of Peanuts, like the comic book, or the Snoopy. I think that's where that dies. But yes.
Yeah, I pop out, and I'm like, Jake.
Yep.
And then they have to.
They have to.
I can still remember being 8 years old and reading TMNT Adventures number 5, aka the first real issue with Man Ray. There was no one actually sitting at the table at the time, but I went elsewhere for a minute, and when I came back, I saw a middle-aged guy sitting there and working intently on something. Now, although I am a TMNT Adventure superfan, I can't claim to be able to recognize Kim Mitroni on sight. But as I get closer, I get definite confirmation when I see his working on a sketch of Man Ray in the signature Mitroni style. It's geeking me out. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay. I cautiously approach and say hi, and he turns out to be a really friendly guy.
That's good.
I tentatively ask him if I can get a sketch. He replies that he's already got a lot of requests, but then he shows me a binder he has with some of his past original art for sale. This binder includes many pages from TMNT Adventures and Mutanimals. I'm not someone who generally seeks out original art to buy, but I figure I have to make an exception in this case. I nervously ask how much any of these would cost, and he responds with an amount that seemed quite reasonable. I won't say exactly what it was, but let's say it ended with a 5.
Okay.
And all I had were 20s.
Huh.
That's the important part.
Yeah.
5, but all I had was 20s. I settle on the original art of page 12 from Mutanimals number 8. It seemed to have the biggest variety of characters in that Mitroni style that we all love so much.
Yeah.
As I gave him the money, he fumbles around for a minute, not sure if he's able to give me change. I find myself responding that I'm more than happy to pay $5 more than he's asking for this priceless treasure. He's very appreciative and jokes that if I ever see him again at another con, I should feel free to come up to him and ask him for the $5.
Oh, that's awesome.
On getting to episode 250. You guys are two of my heroes, and I'm so looking forward to continuing the journey with you. Now in real time, since I'm finally caught up. Can't wait to see where you are by episode 500. Else time, Duncan Gale, the Inland Empire, California correspondent, and he included attached pictures and that I gotta watch out for the jealousy. Jealousy meter's up.
Yeah.
Jealousy meter is up.
Goodness. I'm gonna see if I can check it out real quick. But Duncan, thank you so much. That's awesome. Like,
yes, for sure. And I mean, great story too. By the way, it was definitely worth it.
Oh, absolutely.
Man, Kim Mitroni owes you $5.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I remember, I remember the first time I met George Perez.
Oh, that's cool.
I was real messed up about it. Like I was just like, I knew he was going to be there at I think it was MetroCon. No, it was MetroCon.
It was MetroCon. It was MetroCon.
MegaCon.
MegaCon. I knew it started with an M.
Yeah, because MetroCon is the AnimeCon.
Yes.
Yeah, he was at MegaCon, and I had brought my my Crisis on Infinite Earths like hardback with me, and I was like, oh shit. And he was so nice. He was just so nice. Like, there was no reason to feel like weird about it.
Yeah.
But he was great. But I'd love to meet Kim Mitroni. That'd be fantastic.
Oh yeah, yeah, that'd be legit. But that's awesome. So thank you.
Yeah. Awesome
All right.
story, buddy. Last one is from John Klein. And he's right. In the beginning thing he says here, where he says, Tad worried our voice memo congratulating you on 251 epic episodes didn't go through. So just in case, congrats on episode 151 and 152. We got your email with a voicemail, but I can't remember where it went.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to look into that.
Search that one back down.
But thank you for this new email. We sincerely appreciate it. And
so this is definitely the rest of this is kind of like, I think, in reaction to like the stuff that we covered last week, which is pretty cool.
Okay.
I missed all of these live appearances in real life. Gridlock from the Metro Blue Line video seemed to be effective until the turtles caught him. Then he became a glass cannon, which is completely true.
That's true.
Which municipal programs should the turtles assist with? They may risk being labeled as being selfish, but the 2012 series really shed light on that humans need to stop throwing garbage in the sewers. I mean, the turtles walk around down there.
That's
They need
true.
Boots.
Yeah. Real quick, he's answering questions that are on our live stream. We have a ticker that for those who haven't jumped over.
Oh my God, that's right. Everything's a question. Okay.
Yeah. So that's what he's doing. So for those who didn't know,
what he's doing.
That's what he's doing.
Brian.
So yeah.
Brian, get with the program.
Yeah.
Well, then that's great. He says, Babs was really rude. Who asks about birth parents in an interview? And
That's
he says,
true. Yeah, who does
"Poor
that?
Splinter took in 4 sons, raised them, taught
Mhm.
them art and a skill.
Yep.
He probably held back a very ratly tear. He was probably the next room being proud of his boys." That's
Mhm.
true. She
Yep.
act like Splinter's not even a thing.
Yeah. Horrible.
He says that my weapon of choice in a toy store would have been a basketball. Plenty of opportunities to look cool, and it doesn't matter if it's headshots or nut shots, that's going to hurt. Even a blocked shot will sting. I can tell you,
That's excellent. Yes.
Would be real.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
yeah.
it doesn't do it, like, you got to be more accurate with the baseball.
It's true.
The basketball's got like kind of, if you throw to somebody, like, you're going to hit them. You know what
That's
I'm
true.
saying?
Mhm.
Like, that's going to happen.
That's
So
excellent.
he says April is the better reporter.
Oh,
I'm
as
sure
opposed to
Babs was
yeah.
tougher and hard hitting before she started interviewing celebrities and debutantes.
Oh, that's true.
And then the last one is, should parents' opinions heavily influence art? Probably not. But I grew up with a kid whose parents believed the turtles were devils, which I still never understood. I mean, demons are red and the turtles are green. Wait, Raph is red. And then he said, insert Michael Pressman face here. And he included
that's right.
He included the Michael Pressman, which I love it because he dropped that, and then my boy Brad clipped that.
Yeah.
Like that night. So I love like the amount of Michael Pressman. We need to get that picture. We need to get that on the thing.
We'll find a way. But that's amazing.
But
yeah.
Yes. And that's John. So thanks a lot, John.
Yes, thank you, sir.
And for answering those questions. That is it for our email, sir.
Yeah. All right. So I think we're on to getting into the nitty gritty of this. Are you ready?
Oh, it's nitty gritty. Okay.
Yeah.
The nitty gritty something committee.
Something. Yeah. We'll workshop that. Yeah, workshop that.
Let's workshop that.
But goodness. All right.
So we're ready to get into it.
Let's do it.
So opening up the bag of tricks. Oh, I forgot to tell you this, Eric.
Yeah.
My dad came over today.
Okay.
This is really short, but I had to tell you this because this is going to relate. Dad came over today to drop some stuff off. He wanted to keep some stuff in my garage overnight. We're going to work on something this weekend. So I opened the garage up. I'm pulling stuff out. And there's a squirrel's tail, in like a ripped off squirrel's tail in the back of his truck.
Okay.
I go, hell is that? My dad goes, it's my squirrel tail.
Okay.
I go, what?
Right.
And he's like, it's my lucky squirrel's tail. And I'm
so
like,
it's yeah.
What? And he goes, well, I mean, he's got a new dog. Her name's Ellie. Ellie brought it in from outside, and she gave it to me out in the front yard. So I threw it in the back of my truck. And I was like,
that's amazing.
You gonna get rid of that? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, what?
Well, so
what?
Wait, what? So I got a question. How is it lucky? Like, when did it become lucky? Like, is it lucky because the dog brought it to him, or like did something happen?
I think he just added that in just straight up. Like,
so okay, so he
it became the lucky squirrel's tail in that moment, I think.
So he added lucky because he was probably like and I don't know your dad to be embarrassed by anything, but there's maybe something in the back, like something primordial, like in him that was like, oh, I got to make this sound cooler. Let's say it's lucky this time, and hoping that you would give him a pass on it. Okay, that's wild. So tangentially, I have one quick squirrel tail message. So
squirrel tail of your own.
Indeed. So this past Easter, one of the benefits of being an uncle is that you get to do things that your brother-in-law and your sister, the parents of your nieces, don't want to do, which is a lot of things because they're lazy and they're sick of their kids and they see them all the time. No, I'm kidding. But so they asked me to go hide the Easter eggs. So I went out and hid the Easter eggs. And I thought I did a really good job. I had to show them where a few of them were, which I'm pride
Sure.
myself on being. I think you do too a little bit. We pride ourselves on being good Easter egg hiders. I mean, we've had Easter at my house where we wake up and we each hide Easter eggs. It's been a thing. But
you don't hide Easter eggs right unless you yourself lose a couple that you find way later.
Precisely. But the one thing I did not account for was that in my hurriedness to get this done, because kids have a short attention span, I directed my niece over to one egg, and there was now that I'm thinking about it, the whole carcass might have been there, but there was a squirrel tail right, like, just so close to it, Ryan, right next to the egg. I didn't even notice. Yeah, detached, just in the yard. And yeah, it freaked me out a little bit because I'm like, oh, she's going to touch this and put it in her mouth, like, immediately, I guarantee you. And so I had to divert. I had to take it, and I just put it in my pocket. I didn't know what else to do. Yeah, then I forgot about it. Yeah, and then it was in the wash.
And here it is. You're like, pull it out,
yeah, it's still here.
Like,
no, it's hard as a nail, though. I don't even know what that means. Anyway.
Ooh.
Speaking of things we don't know what means, are you ready to get into the mouth of madness, Ryan? Are you ready? Because I think you've given me enough time to actually make this stuff work. So let's see if we can get this thing cracking. So here we go. Turtle Tunes.
It's Turtle Tunes.
Goodness.
It's happening. This is what's happening. It's Turtle Tunes. Turtle Tunes is from 1994. It is 22 minutes long. This was this and its brother or sister, its sibling. We Wish You a Turtle Christmas were made by the same people with the same marketing toward preschool aged kids, and same format, same intro rule, everything like that.
Right.
So a little bit about it. So Eric, I think you have some information, right? On
Yeah. So I believe these are the same suit actors, like you were saying. Like everything is pretty much one for one, if I'm not mistaken. But the thing that, and the only and I wouldn't go in too much deeper than this, except it was a literal rabbit hole that like made me see there's further connections. So there are some connections to the coming out of their shell stuff, which is neat because I thought they were completely divorced from one another. But there's some other juicy tidbits here. So one of the actors is named Eric Anzalone. Eric Anzalone. Now, if you're not familiar with that name, don't worry. We weren't either. But we should probably have been, because he was the leather biker in The Village People, Ryan. From 1995 to 2017.
Okay, so he wasn't an original Village People.
Wasn't an original, but was...
He's a replacement leather daddy.
Of the original. But still, like, in the 90s, like, yeah, still, that's awesome. And so, and what's awesome is that he did this is 94. So the 95 he gets the leather daddy job.
So
and
this was his stepping stone to being in the Village People.
This was on his resume when he went to be in the Village People. Like, I love that.
Guys, check it out. Hey, what's up? The name's Eric Anzalone. So the first thing is I like to do what I feel. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm sorry. And he stops and goes, I'm sorry. To do whatever I feel. Which,
right.
Let me tell you something, Eric. If that lyric from YMCA was not originally written as "you can do what the fuck you feel,"
oh my God,
then they're lying.
Oh my Lord, goodness.
Next time you sing it, use those lyrics. They fit. The guy even knows it when he sings it because he goes, "Whatever you," but the like he's feeding it to you.
Yeah, he is. It's there. But this guy played Raphael in both of these presentations, but played Donatello in the Coming Out of Their Shells video. So there's that, which is awesome. Then we also have Alfredo Miller. He did the voice of Michelangelo on Turtle Tunes and Christmas, and is credited as Foot Clanner, which I believe is the is I don't know. Foot Clanner. I'm sorry, I should say in Coming Out of Their Shells, not in this.
Yeah.
Foot Cleaner in that. So take that for what you will. Ron K. Smith did the vocals for Leo in both of these, and did the vocals for Raphael on the Coming Out of Their Shells video and studio soundtrack. So that's awesome.
That's interesting.
Yeah. See, I had no idea that they were that tethered together, but here we are. And then Ethan Lipkin was a production assistant and played the Santa on both of these Tunes and Christmas, and just so happened to be in a short film called Stillbirth Chicken, which I thought that was an interesting title of a film to be in and have on your resume. Stillbirth Chicken. So, and one final thing, IMDb says that there was a budget of $5,000 on this, Ryan. Because I'm assuming because the Cowabunga melodies aren't cheap, that's why they had to get that $5,000.
No,
but
I mean, like, you have to pay. I mean, like, there's there's union people to pay.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You got to shell out a few bucks. You know
You
what
do.
I'm saying?
You do.
Like,
You-
like,
oh,
I mean, you got to get past the gatekeepers.
Child
You know what I'm
Child labor will only get you so far, as we
That's
will
true.
see. As we will see. But like, but speaking of kids and stuff like that, like this, the difference between Coming Out of Their Shells and this is that this is geared definitely more towards like preschool kids. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, so allow me a bit of a tangent, because my research for
Okay.
this video kind of led me down a very interesting rabbit hole about preschool entertainment, and it started with me being like, "What up with Barney, though?" Because when you look at 1994, right,
Mhm.
and you look at
Right.
like why would the Turtles like do this? Like why would the Turtles make this like weird kind of stab at the preschool market and then never really do it again? You know what I'm saying?
You're talking about Turtles. You're not talking about the characters. You're talking about the brand, right? Or are you talking about why would the
Yes.
actual Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles be like, you know what, we're gonna target. You're talking about why did Kevin and Peter sign off on preschool?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like what were they thinking, especially in '94?
Okay.
Because as we know, a lot of things are the popularity of the TMNT is starting to wane at this point in the story. So, and in history. So to understand kind of where Turtle Tunes came from, you have to understand the landscape of like mid to late '80s, like preschool entertainment, which was almost nothing. So, all right. So one thing to remember about creating like entertainment for preschoolers is that they can't read, right? Like that's actually a huge thing. Like if you have kids and you have them at that preschool age, you realize like they can only really be entertained with like songs or words or like visuals. They can't read books, even like picture books. They like flip through them and they go, "Cool, dumb book."
Right.
And like, nice book, Dad, and like throw it across the room or they rip it up, because like they have, so there, it's such a weird age, and you're getting into the beginning of like they're getting ready to go to kindergarten and start all that up, and there's this whole thing about trying, it's shown that kids are much more likely to graduate high school if they have some kind of preschool education, right? And that was data that was also coming out around this time, but not everyone could necessarily afford to put their kids in a VPK, and a lot of times, a lot of states didn't have, state or county sponsored VPK programs. So your kid hung out, and then went to kindergarten, right?
Right.
So basically, in the a lot of what this was aimed at, a lot of the stuff around the time that in the late '80s, this kids entertainment was really like barren. And actually, the woman that created Barney and Friends, and this is where I got on my rant about like kind of in this rabbit hole where I'm like, this is really fascinating.
Right.
Basically had a preschool kid who like wore out these like old like cheesy song tapes, and just literally kids like singing songs, and he like wore them out, and she's like, there's got to be something better than this shit, because like this ain't getting it. Like it's the same like 6 songs, and that's it. And that's all preschool kids really have on video and stuff. So she actually got a group together herself, wrote the original pilot for Barney and the Backyard Gang. This is in 1988, and literally filmed 3 videos, just herself,
Right.
with people, and then released them into video rental stores, got distribution.
What?
And just put them out. And the best part is she was like, I'm done. Basically, like she did 3
mission
little
accomplished
Barney videos. Like,
just,
Barney the Backyard Gang is what it was called. And she was like, but I'm out. Like, I made my 3 videos and I did what I could do.
Right. Well, wait.
Yeah.
So you said something about like there was like a drought of entertainment for kids like this time. But what about Sesame Street? Because wasn't that like in '69? Like, didn't that come out then? Like,
yeah. So
what's up with that?
That's even more interesting part of the story because like you right when because that was my first thought was like so like what about Sesame Street because that started so long had been started so long ago, but the problem with Sesame Street was that it was created in the late '60s. Like it's definitely like a social and like cultural pillar of like of like that age. But it was created at a different time when both parents usually didn't work. So you had one parent at home, usually the mother, and you had the children. And Sesame Street was always supposed to be an interface for the child and the parent to watch together.
Right.
Like the parent to continue those lessons and whatever on from the show. And if you look at the tone of Sesame Street versus the tone of Barney, especially back then, Sesame Street talked to you like they were talking to your parents and you at the same time. Like if you watch it, they expect your mom to be on the couch next to you. Basically.
Right.
But by the '80s, most households had both parents working, so kids were in like daycare.
Yeah.
So like Sesame Street wasn't hitting right, and that's what led to that like drought in like preschool entertainment.
That makes sense.
So what I thought was really interesting is the way that Barney got picked up was that this woman who worked for Connecticut Public Broadcasting wound up like renting Barney and the Backyard Gang. Her son fell in love with it, right? She's like, oh damn. She starts to make noise because her public broadcasting affiliate she worked for was a PBS affiliate. She started making noise for PBS to start like to make Barney. Like reach out to this woman who made Barney in the Backyard Gang and like make Barney a thing.
So can I interrupt you real quick? Can I interrupt you? So was Barney? It doesn't look how it looks on screen right now. Like it wasn't the full on production, like the one that she made, or was it? Okay. So this is what we know as Barney is definitely the PBS like full on production.
There was Barney was a purple dinosaur that from our imagination. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like he literally like he hung out and they had a cast of kids, and the whole Backyard Gang was like that was like his friends.
Right.
That was the kids.
Right. Okay.
Obviously they developed it different and stuff like that. But I go through all of this stuff with Barney to add some of the historical like rhetoric and context to like what this Turtle Tunes stuff is, because like you got to imagine it's so she makes the original Barney stuff in '88. PBS picks it up and starts developing it, and the first episodes air in '92.
Okay.
So Barney and Friends runs from 1992 until 2010. Right?
Goodness. Okay.
And I think it's funny because it was created basically to answer a gigantic open gaping question, which is like, what can we do to entertain preschool kids? And Barney did it. Barney like absolutely like revolutionized children's television, like young children's television.
Right.
Because Barney was made for you. Barney was made for the kid.
Right.
It wasn't made for the parent. It was made for the kid.
Right.
I appreciate what's on the screen right now. That's
okay, thank you. Thank you. I did it myself.
So, yes, that was great. That's fantastic.
If you haven't seen Barney, you should definitely check out when him and Baby Bop visit Planned Parenthood. That's a classic. You learn a lot. Just saying. So anyway, continue.
Nice. So that's about it. So effectively, the reason that people our age and older have an annoying memory of Barney is because Barney was made to answer a question that our generation asked.
Oh, okay.
The answer wasn't ready yet.
Right.
So the answer came out in '92. I was already 10. You were 9, right?
Yes, indeed.
And we were way, way, way too old for Barney and Friends.
Yeah.
We were way too old for it. Barney
Yeah.
to us is obnoxious. But to preschool kids, Barney was the first show made for them that talked to them directly, that its only goal was to entertain and teach you.
Right.
So even though Barney is obnoxious and easy to make fun of, I just got really like into looking at how it really changed everything. Every Nick Jr. show you've ever seen copies Barney in some way. It talks directly to the kid. It does everything Barney pioneered, basically. So while have they gotten cooler than Barney? Are there Nick Jr. shows that my kids watch that I think are like way better than Barney and Friends? Yes.
Oh, of course.
But Barney and Friends invented it, and then everyone else just made it better, right?
Right.
So when you go back now to 1993, which is the same year that Barney and Friends is nominated for its first Daytime Emmy for Outstanding Children's Series and Outstanding Writing in a Children's Series, which it was nominated for every year until it stopped.
Really? That's insane.
Yes.
Huh. Which
same year Barney starts winning awards, the Turtles go ahead and begin production.
Right.
Tunes, and We Wish You a Turtle Christmas.
Right. And then Barney stops 2 years before we start the podcast.
That's true.
That's wild.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, we it's thankful to us that he did, because that was what was stopping us.
Absolutely. That was the one thing holding us back. Like that question. Yes. Yeah. See, like I'm actually curious what the last episode of Barney was like. We got to go and find that. Like I got to see what that was, because he either has to go into space or die.
If they're smart, they made it like every other episode.
That's true. Yeah. So syndication.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then that way he lives on in our imagination. Yeah.
That never ends. So when you referencing another kid show, so when you look at the story of Barney and Friends, and I appreciate you sticking with it, when you look at that and you look at what's happening right now, this explains what we're reviewing today.
Right.
It's a stab. Spoiler alert: the Turtles never do it again.
Yeah.
Not
at least
in this generation.
As far as we know, they never do it again. There might be a secret thing.
They do it again.
I don't think they do either, Ryan. But I'm just putting it out there. And if you do know if they do it again, let us know, because we want to know. But as far as
first, it's a Planned Parenthood thing, and now you're going to upset me on this one. Okay, we don't know.
Sorry.
If they never do it again. But they don't do it again this generation.
Right. Absolutely.
It was 2 videos and done of this wave of the Turtles, and they were like, "Oh shit, the ship's sinking. Oh god." Okay?
Yeah.
And now you see now you kind of figure out like kind of why they went this direction. So, Turtle Tunes is a 22-minute video containing 9 songs, 5 of which are based on traditional children's songs with like new turtle-related lyrics. Barney and Friends did something very similar, and good looking too. You know what I'm saying? So we're basically going to go through the songs really fast. And also by way of the songs, because they're all woven into the narrative of the story that the little video tells.
Yeah.
We're also going to kind of go into like the plot line as well.
Right.
As told through the songs.
Yes.
So the first song is "We're the Turtles." Okay. And this is like essentially like a intro song. You know, to introduce the audience to everybody. And then after that, we learn that the general premise of the story is that April's managed to like rustle up some kind of opportunity for the Turtles to film a pilot for TMNT TV,
right?
Which I believe is supposed to be like MTV.
Yeah, that was my understanding.
Track?
Like from what they say, they were talking about getting their own TV show, and it sounded like they were gonna make it about like their own favorite music, like just bands they liked and stuff like that, like, kind of like a like a
MTV.
MTV or public access kind of Wayne's World kind of deal where like they're showing or whatever, like Beavis and Butthead kind of thing, where they're showing you a music video compilation show that might have a narrative. But yeah, no, it kind of falls apart right off the bat.
Yes.
And so, yeah.
So they get this. You know, they have an opportunity to film a pilot for this TMNT TV. And I guess needing to film the pilot, they decide to call the kids up. For help, like to help them film a show.
Mm-hmm.
And they go ahead and head topside. And before heading out, Raph kind of warns Mikey not to go missing and to stay close.
Right.
Obviously setting up that exact eventuality to happen very shortly.
Definitely. Like, so, but you mentioned they call up the kids. Like, first, so many questions here. Like, how do they know these kids? Where do they get their phone numbers? Like, who are they? Because, like, I don't know. It's just, like there's so much.
I mean, the song's called "We're the Turtles." They're the Turtles, Eric.
Yes, the Turtles let us know who they are, and technically they speak to us, so we are a part of this ensemble. But yeah, I don't know. It's very questionable as to who these kids are, where did they come from, how did the Turtles know them? I've got so many questions, but this on screen right now is our cast, at least the core cast of kids. We have two boys and 2 girls, and so it's fair and balanced. And yeah, so anyway, goodness. All right, so
effectively they recruit these kids.
Yeah,
and we get to the next song, which is "We've Been Living in the Sewer," which is set to the tune of "She'll Be Coming Around the Mountain."
Yes,
and is about how basically living in the sewer sucks. And it's nice to be going to the city that we love and going into the park.
Mm-hmm.
Brother, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what that shit is. So they meet up in Central Park with the kids, and then, of course, Mikey instantly goes missing, like we knew he would anyway.
Yes.
He goes skateboarding around the fountain, which is the name of the next song. Like the Turtles wind up searching for Mikey. Who they find skateboarding around the fountain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But what, like, but who does that? Like, who wants to go skateboarding around the fountain? Like, this is a fountain that's in Central, like, in a park, right? Like, did they say, we're assuming it's Central Park. Who knows?
I mean, it's in Central Park, yeah.
Okay. So, crowded park. This is daytime, too, by the way. So, like, people are looking at them. Who, like, when you skateboard, you want to go to an isolated place to, you know, shred or do whatever you got to do, or to grind on things, as the kids say. But like, yeah, I really don't think that Mikey thought this through. But then again, that plays to the fact that he is a teenager. So there you go. But nevertheless,
I mean,
yeah,
he went missing. You know
he
what
did.
I'm saying?
He did.
And it's almost like we knew it would happen.
Oh,
you know
yeah,
like and they did know.
Indeed.
So. You know, so the next song is Leonardo Has a Rowboat.
Oh, goodness.
And he does.
He does.
You, in this next video song, you see our fearless leader, Leonardo, literally failboating at piloting a very small rowboat. And, like, and they're filming him.
Yes.
And the weird thing is, like, the lyrics are about how he can't rowboat at all. And the kids who make up the production crew are, like, visibly angry and frustrated.
Oh, totally.
Like, he's blowing takes.
Yeah.
The song is about how he can't row a rowboat.
Right. So they should have known ahead of time that this was going to be a problem. But I think I sympathize with the kids. Like, I get it. But I get their frustration. Because so 2 sides. I get their frustration because one, you know, like, what are they getting paid? Like, how are they getting paid? Are they getting paid pizza points in actual pizza?
I mean,
like experience? Yeah, like a credit on the show.
The classic answer for "we don't want to pay you."
Absolutely. And so anyway, I think I can understand their frustration there because they're like, what am I wasting my time on this for? But the other side is that I could see where they put their faith in Leonardo because correct me if I'm wrong. He leads, right? Leonardo is the leader, so Leonardo leads, and thankfully through hindsight and history books and a bunch of things like that, we have humanity has a rich history of leaders, if I'm not mistaken, Ryan. That I feel like the majority of them, if not the notable ones, had a penchant for being good boatsmen, like or at least have some boating experience. So for instance, like Noah, he was a good leader. He led the two by two animals onto the ark, and then the rest of they repopulated because he led an ark, which the ark was just essentially just a massive animal orgy. So there's that.
Name another leader with a boat, though.
George Washington. Remember that painting? He was on the boat, and he was and it looked very similar to Leonardo's here, where it had the American flag on it. Old faded glory. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
And
Can you name another leader with a boat?
This is a stretch. The Gordon's fisherman. Does that work? Because we're supposed to trust him, and you trust your leaders.
Why don't you trust him? We don't trust him.
Dude, have I forgotten that we don't trust? What did the Gordon's fishermen do? Did I forget something?
No, it's that they tell you to trust him.
Well, yeah, we probably have.
If
Goodness.
I showed up to you
Mm-hmm.
with a raincoat and a rain hat on, smiling,
yeah, that's
and
true.
someone said, "Trust Ryan Guy," you'd be like, "I don't want to do that."
Yeah, okay, but even if you don't trust him, some people do, which makes him a leader, which still makes him, and as a fisherman, so technically he should have a boat somehow in there. I don't think I'm outside the realm of possibilities here with this analogy. Nevertheless, Leonardo is failing as a teenage leader. He's not setting a good example, and I think this is very damaging to his character.
He cannot row a boat, which is great.
Yes,
and that's a whole song.
It is.
So next up, you have "Don't Talk to Strangers," which is your a little too late. It is 94. I feel like we ran this a lot in the late 80s, but we'll go ahead and run this again. This song finds the Turtles and their kid crew back in the sewers momentarily. They go back to the sewers.
Oh, yeah.
Shooting an intro for a music video they ostensibly shot while topside. It's all about stranger danger.
Right.
The video features what?
I said right. Yeah. Like that's what they do.
Okay.
Yeah. It makes no sense that they're shooting the intro. Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah. They're like the rest of the thing now is them like down in the sewers filming intros for the videos they shot up top that are fully edited.
Right. Yeah.
Or shooting some of them, but also having intros in them at the same time. It's odd. So the video features what looks to be a member of the Foot Clan.
Yes.
Trying the good old "your parents sent me to pick you up"
right
line on one of the children, but since the family uses the code word system,
right,
the would-be pedo is wrecked and ultimately fails at his fiendish foot abduction attempt.
He totally fails at strangering, indeed.
Did your family have a code word system?
We did not. Well, maybe.
Who did we?
No, we didn't have like a code word.
We did.
I know that if my dad would snap, and I'd hear that, and I'd know that like that meant like would get my attention. But now, granted, that's and it could have been
code word for.
It is if you listen to the timbre of his snap, Ryan, as mentioned on our our pregame show, because I could tell it was Dad's snap better than anyone else, other than anyone else's. So, you know what I'm saying?
But that's not a code word. That's not a code word
winking.
Because
it's not a
someone
word.
Came up to you and said, "Your dad told me to pick you up." Your dad wouldn't be there to snap, right?
Unless he was there, unless he put the snap in an envelope and they had the envelope and he opened it and then I heard it. That's how we knew. But
yes.
Yeah. So yeah, it's weird.
So you got anything to say about stranger danger?
Just that this ninja is really sad and pathetic. Like I like this is not how real ninjas work, y'all. Like I don't.
Yeah, I feel like
I feel like he would have used a smoke bomb, didn't care about your code word, and would have got out of there, and then you would have been in the Foot Clan and probably in a much better place than where you are with your family. with their
Yeah, I mean,
family.
regular menthol.
Yeah, precisely. But
Well, then going home and watching more TMNT TV
mhm.
with songs based on Yankee Doodle Dandy. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? I mean, you're in the coolest place in New York. at that
You
point.
are, exactly. And do you want to hang out with these like terrifying Ninja Turtles? Because
Yeah.
they're god awful, and yeah, they sometimes their masks come up, like the bandana masks, and you can see like just this
Oh.
dark recesses of their eyes. Yeah, that's, oh goodness, no, it's not good. But they have nice teeth though, which is odd for sewer dwelling amphibians.
Yeah.
But you know, what do I know?
Imagine if like you were hanging out with the turtles and they look kind of like that. They were a little lighter than you thought,
Right.
and then like you were hanging out in the sewer. They took off their bandanas, and like what was under the bandanas was all like dark,
Yeah.
like darker green, and it was like kind of slimier.
Yeah. Ugh. Ooh. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I am not a fan of this.
And they're like,
but
"What's up, man?" And you're like, "Oh, God,
Yeah.
I wasn't ready for that."
was not ready for that.
So, all right. So after this song, coming back to the sewers, we learned that Leonardo's apparent code word is his middle name,
Mm-hmm.
which
Yeah.
happens to be Antonio.
Yeah, which this is news. Like, we didn't know this.
Leonardo Antonio. Amato?
Yep. Which makes you wonder,
So
like, where
Mikey
did
doesn't
Splinter
want-
get that from?
Well, what's funny is Mikey doesn't want to give his middle name up.
I don't
'Cause
blame
he,
him.
He sees where this train's going. He's
Mhm.
like, "What? We have non-canonical middle names now
Yep.
in this stupid video. I'm not going to utter it." But eventually, they get it out of him, and
Mhm.
it's Sylvester.
Sylvester. Michelangelo Sylvester Hamato.
Sylvester Hamato.
So, real quick, for those who don't know, when we watch these, I screen cap them with the closed caption that is automated, that it determines it on its
Yeah.
own. This one cracked me up pretty good. It has Leonardo, and I forget, he's talking, and he just says, "Pepperoni, macaroni, your mother's middle." And just that phrasing, like, yeah, it got me. But there you go. Whatever your
Right.
mother's middle is,
Um,
they want it.
so yeah, like either way, Raph winds up cutting in to drop
Mhm.
in his favorite song, which leads us to the classic Raph hit, "I Got Friends." And
Yeah,
yeah, so
did you think they were going to go into "I Got Friends in Low Places"? Because that's what I thought they were going to go full on Garth Brooks, but
I mean,
they
that'd
didn't.
be badass.
that would have been
Um,
awesome. I mean, we see
but
one
it's
of them
not.
has a guitar here, but yeah, no.
I mean, true.
That is step one to doing a Garth Brooks song is get guitar, do song, and
Step one, Dim's the rule. Step one, guitar. Step two, the correct hat.
oh, I forgot about the
Step
hat.
3, headset mic.
Yes, I forgot.
Because Garth Brooks, it ain't Garth Brooks if he doesn't have that damn headset mic. on.
Right, because
I
he's got to have the freedom.
always marveled at
Mhm.
that. Like, that takes so much, at least to me, coming from like, punk rock and stuff, so much balls to be
Mhm.
like, oh no, I want to run around and I'm gonna wear this headset mic.
Right.
I know it's dumb,
Yeah.
but like, I get to do what I want, and most importantly, I get to move my whole body.
Well,
You see,
didn't
Because
he?
when there's a microphone
Yeah.
on a stand,
Mm-hmm.
everyone goes, "Oh man, I would be doing something different, but man, I'm up on the mic, I'm playing, I can't. Man, look at me, I have to perform like this."
Right.
And they do a little, little bouncy or a little something. But like, imagine if that thing was just strapped to your head, and you're like,
Yeah. You're just. Well.
'cause that's what you look like.
Yeah.
Like that, like an idiot.
Now, didn't he have the harness that like, and he could fly around the stage and stuff at some point? Like, I have a vivid memory of like that was
Yeah,
one of
I mean,
his show performances, and I bring
there
that
was-
up.
There was so much money pouring through the
Mhm.
the Garth Brooks situation at the time.
Yeah.
He probably had probably looked like a Rammstein show, like fireworks and
Well,
the flames and the.
well, as a guitarist yourself, and I am too. It's if you try to play guitar doing something that you don't in a situation you aren't normally in, like walking around and playing guitar, like standing and playing, sitting and playing, those are different. Walking around and playing, those are different things. You can't just one. It's not one for one. So I can imagine him practicing playing guitar in that harness, like while he's flying in the air. Like, how does he do that? Like, did he just have one at his house and he's like just going through the set? Like, how does that work? I don't know.
There was a not him learning to fly around on those little guy wires was a non-zero activity. Like, that had to require like practice and meetings.
Oh yeah.
You had meetings with engineers and with like the stagehands to be like,
Right.
this is how I'm going to fly around on these wires.
Right. Like
in a country show. Somebody
woke up one morning and they kissed their spouse goodbye and they're like, what are you doing today? I'm going to go figure out how to make Garth Brooks fly. And that was what they did with that day. Like, they were born, they did that, and they died, and it was a life well lived. But
we're back on that, and they died. Why'd they have to die, Eric? Tomorrow
Ryan
might die. I mean, like, we're back on that.
This whole experience with this VHS or 2 VHSs or whatever you want to call it took me to a dark place, and I'm still here in the mouth of madness and the darkness. So yeah, a lot of my jokes aren't landing. A lot of stuff feels weird. Like, I don't know. I'm doing the best I can. I'm trying to keep it light, and I apologize for any Turtletarians that this has gotten too dark for. But you know, I'm gonna try to put the white hat back on, and we're gonna keep rocking and rolling.
Dude,
you know what I'm saying?
Don't go Chris Gaines on me. You know what I'm saying? I can't have you go Chris Gaines on me.
I'll do my best. I won't make promises, but I'll do my best.
Garth here today.
Yeah. All right. So yes. So
I got friends.
You got friends. So yeah.
Performed by Raphael. And this song is basically just about how he has friends that also happen to be his brother Turtles. The Turtles just dance around in the sewer while the song happens.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. After this video, the Turtles enter that excited state where they're all talking over each other with cries of like bodacious and radical and stuff. It just devolves into that.
Mm-hmm.
When Donnie like forces himself out in front of everyone and pulls and introduces his song.
Right.
About how sad it is that there's pollution.
Mm-hmm.
And,
good job, Donnie.
Yeah. So this song's called "It's a Pity When the City Isn't Clean." This is actually the best song in the whole show.
Mm-hmm.
Because whoever was programming the bass line on this little music track was not playing with this one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, they let it loose. Goodness. They took a walk.
Yeah, and also so I got a few things to say. So effectively this segment is this video is constrained mostly to this mind-bending shot from far away with a different a weird lens.
Mm-hmm.
And the bridge is like hyper warped.
Right.
Like, you see every bit of how that bridge rises and falls, and they just like, it's all mainly shot on that, and it's just really weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to me, like, they definitely, whoever was shooting this was like, this is cool as hell, and I'm like, I like that, but also it's really weird because you see the exact like bend of the bridge. And I don't know why, but they spend a lot of time on it, and it kind of bothers me a little bit.
I think it's because they didn't want to go find another bridge and get different shots, so they just had them back up and do it again, or they cut it. I don't know. The editing is just really weird on this, and yeah, I agree with you. I did not care for this.
The thing I liked about this song is like it's in minor key, and it kind of sounds like a Christopher Cross song.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's got stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's got like a bridge and like cool stuff going on. I was a little surprised by how much I liked it. Probably because it was compared to like Yankee Doodle Dandy and shit. But seriously, this is the best song.
Mm-hmm. And
it's just them picking up garbage. And at the end, they're picking up garbage while like obviously confused like patrons of Central Park just watch like,
right.
Is that the Turtles?
Right.
And they're just all picking up garbage, and then like I think as it fades out, you see one guy go to like pick up some garbage,
right?
Like this other guy who's just like on the edge,
like they made an impact. But I like the idea of thinking about before they shot this that they are like, well, we need more litter to make the video like more pronounced, to have more, so that there's obviously cost for the video, and so. You're just at the park one day, Ryan. You're just out there doing your thing, playing with your dog, whatever, throwing a frisbee. and throwing your paper on the ground. And then you see 4 Ninja Turtles and a horde of kids come up with garbage, and they're just throwing garbage everywhere on the bridge, over by the bench. And you're like, what is this? Like, because someone had to put that litter there. I'm assuming the Turtles did it, right? They might have hired somebody else. Or if the Turtles are smart, they'd make the kids do it so that they could have plausible deniability and still come out on top and be the heroes. And one way or the other, I always love things like this because they have to set the scene, which is antithetical to the whole premise of the song, and I love that. So anyway, I don't know. That's just my that's my thoughts.
They picked it all up. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's the main thing. They did pick it all up.
So like after picking up some more trash and everyone looking on. We cut back to the sewers where Donnie then goes on to introduce the song that, quote, made Raph sick.
Mm-hmm.
That leads us to I Love to Ride the Carousel. So this song, so this one finds the Turtles and their gaggle of kids gather outside of a carousel in Central Park. As Raph kind of balks at going on. He's like, "Nah, man.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you what though," and he says, what's his exact quote? He says that he doesn't like the idea of, quote, going on something that goes round and round and
up and down. Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
You know, sometimes that's some people's thing, and sometimes it's not other people's thing. You know what I'm saying?
It's true.
And so he gets on it because peer pressure is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And when he gets on it, the rest of the song is about how he wants to get off the roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's on the thing that goes round and round and up and down, and he just wants to get off. You know what I'm saying? And he says that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then that leads eventually to the whole gang singing about getting off.
It's true.
And then the ride ends.
The innuendo is very, very much implied.
The resounding chorus of I want to get off.
Right.
I want to get off. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This one's for the parents.
It's all right.
So
yes.
Yeah.
It's fine. Yeah. That was for the parents.
Yeah.
Cutting back to the sewers, we learn that the show is almost over and there's only time for one more video, which is of course about pizza.
Mm-hmm.
That's when we get treated to the Mikey classic On Top of a Pizza, which is set to the tune of On Top of Spaghetti. And Mikey is cooking pizzas as the other turtles dance around and criticize him on his background, on his pizza making in the background.
Right.
And this time, though, I believe is with good reason. As in my opinion, the cooking crimes that Mikey confesses to are definitely outside the TMNT norms.
Oh, absolutely.
He, at one point, describes finding an old apple under his bed.
Mm-hmm.
And adding it to the recipe.
Yeah.
And the other turtles are like, that's gross. And I also believe that no matter the whole thing with the turtles loving gross pizza is that it's pizza with really messed up toppings. Now, those toppings are not old. They're just weird things like jelly beans and mayonnaise and whipped cream and ice cream and stuff.
Precisely.
It's fresh food. It's just odd.
Right, because it's evident in the first movie, in the 90s movie, where they find the pizza and they're like, Donnie picks it up and there's penicillin, or he's like, do you need some penicillin with your pizza because there's so much mold on it and stuff. So and an apple doesn't, especially if it's out of a fridge or whatever, it doesn't have a very long shelf life.
No.
So that. And it's not necessarily, well, I guess with a turtle it might be different, but generally most people don't eat an apple whole. So I mean, I guess he could have sliced it up, but my understanding was he just threw the apple on the pizza. But
no, he took 4 bites out of it and threw it under his bed, and then a month later he's like, I'll add this to the pizza.
Yeah. See, and that's the one. Yeah.
So to me, zooming out a bit though, that actually kind of annoyed me. When I typed out the note about it, and I was like, think about that. I was like, no, that's kind of bullshit because it's obvious that the person that wrote this,
mm-hmm.
didn't get that.
Yeah, no, they missed the
person who wrote this
subtleties.
Song didn't understand the very simple line of delineation between the turtles eat strange toppings. They don't.
Right.
They're not animals that eat rotten carrion on top of their food.
Right. But
I know it's a weird point, but
no, it's I think it's very poignant, and it's a good thing to talk about, because it's something that gets misconstrued with our heroes. You know, they are adventurous not only in saving people and doing the right thing, but in their appetite, and it should help to teach kids, which I don't think it did, but it should have been used to help teach kids that you should try different things, especially with food, and that would have been a really cool thing to hit home with. I feel like the content itself put the ball on the tee, and they completely missed it. They could have done something with that, but granted, I get that there's only so much time and so much money and effort you want to put into this. But I will say I do love that they dressed Mikey up as a chef. Well, they gave him an apron and a chef's hat, which I thought was kind of neat, because they don't usually dress him up like that in the show, in the cartoon at least. Or if they did, it was few and far between. But I like hitting it home that he's the cook, he's the chef, he's the one that makes these, and I don't know, that just meant something to me for some reason. So.
So after that, Mikey burns down the kitchen.
Yep.
And then we cut back to the sewers, where the turtles want to thank April and not their crew, not their volunteer children crew. None of them get credit.
Nope.
And then they sign off. And then they stand awkwardly and listen to an encouraging message from Splinter, from the astral plane.
Yeah, which is super weird.
And then all of a sudden, and he stops. He's like, "But remember, it is not your, whatever. It is your mind and your beautiful spirit." And I'm like, "What the hell is this?" And then all of a sudden, the phone rings, and it's April informing the turtles that their show pilot was well received.
Yeah,
everyone likes it. This leads to a celebratory pizza run as we fade to black.
Right. And
there's the Waltons reference at the end.
Yes. Okay, that's what it was. Yes, I knew it was an old reference. I just didn't know off the top of my head what it was. But yeah,
John Boy and all that stuff.
All that stuff that is just rife in our within our childhood cartoons and media that we didn't get because it was for our parents. It's one of those things for them, and I love that stuff because
what's funny? It wasn't even for their. I don't even think it was for our parents. It was just those writers making jokes that they thought were funny.
Right, but I guess I don't think that they said this is for the parents, but I think it's just that the writers are probably our parents' age or somewhere a little. Well, they're definitely older than the intended audience.
I think it's more of a case of they're out of touch.
Precisely.
And they're like, oh, they'll get this.
Right.
This is the Waltons, remember? It's
right.
hilarious.
Right.
Everyone gets this.
But
we're kids and we're like, no.
Nope.
I know of that thing only because it was referenced so many times.
Precisely.
Not because I ever saw it.
Right.
Actually.
Which is a weird thing to think about, how something divorced from itself. Yeah, yeah. But that was Turtle Tunes. So
that was Turtle Tunes.
Yeah, it was that was weird. But it only gets weirder, Ryan.
Wow.
It only gets weirder. So you ready to go into We Wish You a Turtle Christmas? Are you ready for this?
I am.
All right. So again, this is We Wish You a Turtle Christmas, 1994. VHS, sometimes it was paired with it, sometimes with Turtle Tunes, sometimes it wasn't. But this thing starts off with the song that the last song started, or the last video started off with We're the Turtles. And this thing, I don't know, something about it. We mentioned this a little bit earlier, but something about the this version, this issue, episode, whatever you want to call it, is definitely darker, even just without seeing daylight or whatever, without the concept of what time of day it is. It just feels menacing. It feels like there's something there. And so but the lyrics talking about how tough and how good looking and how they're waiting for you, all this stuff is just super weird. Anyway, but yeah, just got a lot of footage of the cassette case. Anyway, God. But this one, I think I got some of my favorite quotes from that are just like that got me crying when I was reviewing this, and I'll try to point them out and mention them. But we get, and this happened I think in the last video too. But Christopher Films presents, which is Christopher Films, who names their film company.
Christopher, I mean,
like, who does that?
He's filming something.
That's true. And then we have written by Tish Rabe. Rab? What do you think? Is that Rabe? Rab?
Probably Rob.
Rob?
Rob-A?
That might be. So here's Tish, and she is
okay, I'm about to say, but you have to do her like Wilson.
Sorry. All like that.
Yeah, let's look at that face.
Sorry, I'm still learning how to crop
certain. Do her like Wilson though.
There you go. Okay, she's there. There she is.
Okay.
So
That's all
yeah.
I ever wanted.
So so she was born in 1951. She has a daytime Emmy.
Sure.
She's a daytime Emmy winner, and she did a lot of stuff with Dr. Seuss books. I think she like made them into videos or something. She did something with them. But this is the lady. This is the person who wrote this. I just wanted to put a face with your nightmares. That just tethering the two. So
she'll sell you a house.
She will. So anyway, so the first official song of this video that's new, I guess, is "Deck the Halls," and this just cold opens on this, just right into the Turtles decorating for Christmas, and it's kind of like I kind of like this idea because it's fun to see the Turtles doing this, like and the song itself isn't necessarily bad because it's just "Deck the Halls." But with turtle lyrics. But the problem comes with Leonardo singing in a Jamaican accent, Ryan. And
I don't understand why. Let me tell you something, man. I'm just gonna say this. Like, appropriating a Jamaican accent for a whole song could be one of the worst and most stupidly offensive things you could probably do.
Right.
There are people that think that is okay because it's the style.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
we know someone that is adjacent to you who's a fan of doing that.
Yeah,
and try to do this professionally.
Oh God, yes, I know who you're talking about.
It is a thing.
Yeah,
that you need to have your I can do this card in your back pocket at all times because it will be pulled several times.
Oh yeah.
This is about as offensive as it gets in a way.
This is true.
Especially because it was absolutely unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
It was absolutely unnecessary.
And
it just happened.
And it's uncharacteristic of Leonardo. Like it'd be one thing if he had a a history of loving Jamaican culture or having some sort of tether to that. But no. Now I will say that they do reference this later, way at the end credits of this one. They talk about it. Now I'm curious if, and we'll talk more about this later, but I'm curious if the actor or the voice actor who did Leonardo is Jamaican or has some sort of history with that. I think there might be something there, but I could be wrong. But nevertheless, that gives I could see a little bit more where that might be okay, but still it's questionable. But it was the 90s, man. It was the 90s. Just do it. You know what I'm saying? Just do it. So, but anyway, the other thing that is probably the best thing about this that I didn't see coming was the scatting. Now, Ryan, could you give us an example of what scatting is?
Oh, you want me to scat?
Oh yeah. Do you think I was gonna do this? No.
It's like that kind of crap.
Yes. Yes. That's what it was. So there's a lot of that, and that was a highlight for me just because it's super weird seeing the Ninja Turtles do that, but that happens here. So after this, yeah, but don't Google it. So after that,
don't Google it.
Yeah, don't, especially not at work. But then after this, we cut to Raphael presumably holding what is appears to be a Walgreens receipt, and from context is also their Christmas shopping list. They all celebrate as it appears that they've met their consumerist duties, and on Christmas Eve, Ryan, to boot. They nailed it. And so Raphael then inquires about what Michelangelo picked up for Splinter. Mikey vehemently denies having Splinter on his list and blames Leo, but he's got presents for the kids. So as it says here, Turtle Man, I got presents for the kids.
At least the kids get paid something.
Precisely, and in fact, it does end up being at least like 2 or 3 of the same kids from the last video. So, but there's more. So, go figure. But yeah, so Leo says he's got kids, the presents for the kids, and us presumably because we're also in this. Where they speak to us. Leo blames Donatello, and but he says he had Splinter last year. So Raph's like, oh snap, we got to go and we got to get a gift because it's Christmas Eve, Ryan. Like they got to get a gift for their dad. Like you're a dad. Like if your kids didn't get you a present, like you'd be pissed, right? Like you'd probably like I don't know, get mad or sad or something, right?
So the secret is that your parents don't care.
Really? Goodness.
I don't care.
Okay. Good to know.
I don't mean that to sound like I don't give a shit. But what I mean is like, I zero care if my kids get me something for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like that. Me getting something for my kids for Christmas is so far outside of anything I expect,
right?
Or think. I mean, much less think I deserve.
Mm-hmm.
That I get. But if one of my kids said like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't get you anything for Christmas," at their age, I'd be like,
"Why? Okay, yeah, that's true."
What? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. And maybe other families are different.
Okay.
But like, I think the real kicker about this when I saw it was like, they're making this huge deal out of they didn't get Splinter or anything, but they didn't grow up getting Splinter presents, and if they're still like younger teenagers, then like where are they getting the money?
That is true.
Buy him stuff. That's the other thing. Like, I don't want I do not want my kids to spend their allowance on me for Christmas
because you gave them the money, so then it's just it's kind of weird.
No, it defeats the point.
It does.
Like,
it does.
I appreciate the thought, but then I'd immediately be like, well, it's a real shame you did that because that was money for you. So
right.
I just always think like they're doing this, hey man, and they're in this. Let's be honest, they're in the goddamn sewer. I mean, Splinter's there. Like Splinter's just around the corner. It's not that big of a place, and they're like, bro, you fucked up Splinter's present, bro. And like Splinter's in the next room. Like, I actually don't. I don't care.
Right. Yeah. It's.
I don't care about it.
Yeah, and anything they do, he'd probably be appreciative of.
Yeah,
so
they're spending Christmas. I mean, come on now.
Precisely.
Like,
so
yeah.
So again, Christmas Eve, Raphael understands the importance of this and knows that they got to get out there and do something. So, well, if they're gonna do it, they need to do it now because they're running out of time. Interesting flex here on this program's like take on the Turtles, because as they depart, Michelangelo grabs a white scarf for some reason off the coat rack, and I thought that was really interesting. And some of the research that I did said that they think they did this so that you could tell the difference between Michelangelo and Raphael, which their colors are very similar.
And that does make sense. That does make sense. That I think in person they had to be like, honestly, they had to be seeing like some kind of video preview of like what they were filming on, like, because it's all filmed on VHS. They had to know that with the lighting, for whatever reason, the orange and the red were playing as like the same color, or they weren't different enough. This is also before they ever gave a shit about people who are red-green colorblind.
Oh yeah,
or anything like that, because like
the 90s. Mm-hmm.
Orange and red just looked like the same color when presented like that anyway.
Absolutely. So, and it's even harder to tell the colors apart when they're in the sewers, Ryan. But when they're coming up from the sewers, which is the next song. This song uses a bunch of the same clips from We're the Turtles intro video, and the lyrics are about leaving the sewer to go shopping, how they hate it, and how it's late and the stores will be closing soon. Also, they're afraid they won't be able to find anything for Splinter, which is, really pressing on them, apparently, because they're singing about it. But I guess they're like the dwarves where they sing while they work and stuff, so who knows? Like, that's their thing. So here we go. And this is the highlight. This is one of the best, because
they find this goddamn kid when they roll up on this kid.
Yeah. And
this kid right here.
Yeah. So we cut to Gotta Get a Gift. Now we cut to some kids who are the Turtles film crew in the last video. But they could also double as Billy Ocean's side band, playing some oil drums and garage lids and stuff that make you suddenly want to get into a Handsome Man's car, if you know what I'm saying. But unfortunately, they go into a scene that is how I think both you and I became aware of at least this VHS, which was what was it? It was it was
3-6 Mafia.
Yes, it was the 3-6 Mafia parody of this, where they mashed up the video footage with a 3-6 song. It's a classic, but it's dirty. It's bad, but
it's dirty. That is some DMX Reading Rainbow level.
Oh my goodness, yeah,
like
that was so good.
If you have not seen the 3-6 Mafia like TMNT like mashup, it's from this song.
Yes,
and it's amazing.
Yeah. It's
the whole time I was watching it, seeing the Turtles like doing this and seeing that,
right,
and thinking about like the 3-6 song that was playing was killing me.
Oh yeah, so good, so good. But the Turtles show off a lot of their dance moves on this, and I really like that. But that was what was really cool about this. But they're down there. It's kind of like this. They go downstairs, and it's this like, I think it's under a bridge, if I'm not mistaken, or some sort of hub or something. Anyway, just then, and they're singing again about getting a gift for Splinter. Just then, this kid literally rolls up to them, and he's got a hat, jacket, jeans, and rollerblades. That's
hat, jacket, jeans, man.
Yes, that's it. That is true. And
So,
go ahead.
I was just gonna describe this kid. So
go for it.
This kid. So there was a thing they did back in the early 90s where they made like jackets for us.
Mm-hmm.
Like they thought it was camouflage if you're on the Rainbow Bridge. Like for some reason they were like, do you know what would be badass looking?
Yeah.
And then someone else who's like already balling up a paper of like weird like Mad Max looks for kids. He's like, no, they're never gonna buy this, and he throws it. The guy goes, nah, let me tell you, what kids want is to be in a perfect tactical camouflage situation were they to find the pot of gold. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, how do I blend in to a migraine?
Mm-hmm.
And that is how they thought we wanted to dress.
Right.
And this kid is wearing a red, green, yellow like situation, and the hat is classic.
Mm-hmm.
And he rolls up, and then they're just hanging with him for a minute. He gets some high fives and cool shit, and everything's good.
Dancing.
And then they just shove him away.
Yeah.
He goes careening into a set of garbage cans they established earlier, although we don't see it. And all the Turtles go, oh, damn, like that. And you're like, you just like wrecked that kid's face.
On Christmas Eve, no less.
On Christmas Eve. First of all, why are these kids out here on Christmas Eve?
Right.
Like, with like, I swear to God, like, they're just like, they're all a bunch of Tiny Tims? Is that what we're, is this like a Tiny Tim gang situation?
Yes.
Is this the backyard gang? You know what I'm saying?
Oh
like,
my goodness. It could be.
It feels like the garbage can that kid's hitting on was just on fire,
Right.
and people were like, "It's goddamn Christmas!" Like over that thing, like being absolutely like left out in the dark.
Right.
Like, also, another thing I'll say is that for some reason, you want to talk about timbre or whatever was bothering me with this whole video.
Mm-hmm.
It is obvious that whoever decided they were going to do these songs that day happened to use the same, probably like MPC or like Casio like drum kit, like
Yeah.
of digital sounds.
Oh
that
yeah.
Skinny Puppy used at like 1988.
Mm-hmm.
And that snare drum is the snare drum from like 2 whole Skinny Puppy albums.
Yeah.
And I'm listening to it and I'm like, 'cause all the songs start out with like, and you're like, that could be Skinny Puppy.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, over it. You're like, what the hell? And like, every song starts out like a Skinny Puppy song, and then it turns quickly into "Gotta Get a Gift."
Oh yeah. And so speaking
those are my
of,
thoughts on that whole thing.
well, I appreciate that because they're very. We needed that. That's the view we needed on this, because this is very problematic. Like, we don't know where these kids are, where they're from. They seem like homeless kids, but as far as I know, but like, who knows? And it could have been a situation where the Turtles did a whole It situation where they're from the sewers and they're telling the kids, "Hey, get me a pizza and do this and that, and hey, come down to my house," and then they just make friends with them that way. Who knows? And then the Turtles kill their parents. A lot of questions here, but the pressing question, Ryan, this Christmas Eve, right now, in the Turtles' lives, is ideas, gifts for Splinter. And they needed some ideas. And so in this song, they come up with some different ideas. They got golf, or let's see, let me start from the beginning. Okay, yeah. Golf clubs, a bowling ball, some ice skates, a sweater, a necktie, an electric, I can't really tell what they say. I think they say coffee brewer, but I could be wrong. A go-kart, a pair of earmuffs. And that's where the song basically ends. And then they all end with this epic "Tonight." And they all have their hands raised over these children that they're about to sacrifice. And then, one of the girls is, when you watch the video, she's doing the drums on the trash can, but she's actually hitting her legs. And it gave me a little bit of PTSD because I haven't played drums in forever, but I'm hearing the drums and I'm seeing someone play the drums, quote unquote. And she hits her leg.
She has a wooden leg like that one time.
Oh my goodness. Let's not talk about that. But
also, I know it was electric coffee brewer because in that verse they rhymed it with hooer.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so I did hear correctly. Okay. So
no,
yeah.
They didn't.
No.
Sorry, I was just making a joke.
Oh, I don't know. You could have said anything and I would have believed you because this. You could say any word that was, you tell me, oh, because they said this in that song. I would believe it because this, I had to turn off a lot of parts of my brain to process this. And this is where we're at. But what I was saying about the drums, if you've ever accidentally hit yourself playing the drums on your leg, it's horrible. It's not fun. So it gave me like a little bit of PTSD seeing her do this, but we'll move on. So at this point, Raphael, the voice of reason, oddly enough, is saying that they gotta hurry up because Christmas is almost here and they've got 1 hour left of shopping to do. So then we get
what's
to.
funny about that is, like, isn't this a city that never sleeps? Though.
Indeed, but a lot of stores.
Make a big deal about like, yo, they're gonna shut the stores down, and I'm like, do they?
The good stores I think do, but some of the I don't know, more touristy ones don't. I don't know. I've only been in New York twice, and it was. My expectations versus reality were kind of like, it was a mixed bag of like, oh, this is exactly like it says, or oh, this is vastly different. So I don't really know. But hey, if any of our Turtletarians or correspondents can let us know, hit us up in the comments or in the chat or in an email. And
your boy Nick Douglas is up there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Tri-State.
Do they close down?
Yeah. So we need to know, but we have a lot more questions to get to in this, especially in this scene right, and in this scene right here, Ryan. This is probably one of the most problematic things in this show, or pivotal parts of this. So this is where we get to O Little City of New York. We cut to our heroes on the corner of 44th and Broadway, where there's a fully decked out Christmas tree and the Santa in the background. Mikey chucks his scarf that he had picked up earlier, remember we talked about that, around his neck and gets this look in his eye as Raph becomes increasingly frustrated. You could say he was peaked. Like, couldn't you? Wouldn't that work there? Yeah.
He was peaked.
Yeah, he was peaked.
To his chagrin, opera guy showed up.
There you go. So apparently this version of Mikey has a penchant for turning into that opera guy and starts singing their own version of O Little Town of Bethlehem. Leonardo and Raph, they at some point during the song, they try to pick Mikey up, but his legs just oddly shake, and it's super weird.
Like the two of them can't pick him up, and they go, and they give up.
Right.
It's almost like there should have been a group mutation.
Yes.
It was cold outside, and they couldn't get it up.
They couldn't get it up. So, and there wasn't a carousel around for them to get up and down and off. So, but apparently this takes an hour. Because I forgive me, I jumped ahead. Raphael now says there's only 1 hour left. So before he was just saying they got to go, but now he's saying there's an hour.
2 hours before, and now it's 1 hour.
Precisely.
So that opera guy took an hour.
Yes, So, Mikey suggests that that he sings for Splinter, which I think he would actually love. Like Splinter would love that, I think, entirely, especially if it's that
Mikey's
opera.
He's not a bad singer.
He's not. And so that's what's so simple.
A passable opera impression.
Absolutely. And so so then they do this weird montage, which I think is supposed to be them in the stores, but it's just like a glitter background and them like pulling up different things. They Leo and Donnie suggest a skateboard and a yo-yo. They say that, and then they cut to this scene and cut to the turtles suggesting sneakers, some of their own comic books. They mentioned something about.
That back up. Go to the back image. That's TMNT Adventures special with the little magical guy. What's his name?
The mole guy. Morton.
It's the guy that. What was that?
Was it Morton? Did it start with an M?
Yeah, something like that. And it's the guy that Cuddly brings out.
Yeah, that's right.
Because Splinter wants to teach Turtles a lesson, so Cuddly goes and gets this guy, who is like basically like Mr. Mixie Spitalik, and brings him into the Turtles' reality, and is like, deal with this guy. Yeah,
and he's terrifying.
That's special, which I think is great.
Yeah, I think it is too. And so then they talk about some yo-yos, and they there's this scene where he says "sleep tight," but that's just a understanding of the what the closed captioning said. But I was like, this is appropriate, right? Exactly. It's terrifying. I was like, oh, I know it's subliminally getting to me. So they mentioned something about smelling something, and they hold the skateboard up to his nose, or something, or like some tassels. It's very weird, and they're like, no, let's don't get him something like that. Anyway, they finally decide on a framed pepperoni pizza, which looks disgusting. And then we get to the rap, Ryan. Here the Turtles do a hip-hop song about wrapping gifts, which I thought was going to be another feel-good song for the kids, but I had no idea what was about to hit my ears, Ryan. Apparently, and you might have known this. I didn't know. I didn't know this, but I was taken aback by this. Apparently, you know Justin Timberlake, right? You're familiar with him, and then Jimmy Fallon, he's great too. Their classic song "Dick in a Box." Yeah, I thought that was original. No, it's a cover song. Cover song, Ryan. This is where Dick in a Box rapping. Trim, I'm rapping my pitch. I take a lot. Like that's what some of the lyrics say. Of pride when I put the gift inside. See, there's. The lyrics might be a little different, but the main premise and the genesis of Dick in a Box right here. Turtles, we wish you a Merry Turtle Christmas. Did not expect that. But this whole thing is filmed. This is one of the ones where they're like, we got to do something else. Let's just get a light and a fan and going in the background and make it dark. And remember how when we filmed Skeletor and He-Man fighting in the live action movie? Let's do that same thing, but with the turtles wrapping gifts. And that's what this song is. And so, the big takeaway again is that Leo takes a lot of pride when he puts the gift inside, and that's all you need to know about that. We then get this weird scene where we see a turtle putting a gift under a tree, and they all say goodnight to each other. And again, it's the voiceover from the end of the last video, which is super weird, but I kind of love it as a callback. But and then they fade to Christmas morning, and Splinter is there all of a sudden, which I thought he was just on the astral plane, but no, like he's right here, like out of bed, just doing his thing. And they want the kids to come around and rock and roll, Ryan, to the tune of the 12 Days of Christmas. And not only do we get Splinter, like I said, but we get some of the kids that pop up around the lair, and for the most part, they look miserable. Like you can see right there, like that kid just not having a good time. Furthermore, the fallacy... What were you going to say?
I was going to say that Splinter is without a doubt one of the most terrifying versions of Splinter I've ever seen.
Yes, it's
I have that exact Splinter outfit in a miniaturized prototype form in my shower drain.
Yes, that's exactly what this looks like. Yes, look
if
how long
people are open to. I'm open to offers.
I just noticed this. Look how long his fingers are.
No, he's garishly freaky.
Yeah,
he's Splinter from a fever nightmare.
Yes,
what he is. It's,
absolutely.
It's actually such a bad Splinter that I'm surprised it flew.
Yeah, I am too. He and it's odd that he's in this but not in the other one. Who knew? But anyway, let's see. So so the fallacy with this song is that in conjunction with the narrative that it is, that they 12 Days of Christmas, they waited till the last day of Christmas to give Splinter all these gifts. So there's that plot hole because, you're supposed to, that's not how the 12 Days of Christmas work. But for those who don't know, this is where I started talking about, I'm sorry, I'm reading my notes. That's where I was talking about the whole, the closed captioning thing. And this, it could not keep up. It could not keep up with this song, Ryan. It gave up, and this is where the gold is. This is where the good stuff was. I was crying in this one because this one right here, Ryan. Splinter, it looks like Splinter says, "Parole me on the 9th day of this." Parole me on the 9th
that cat
day.
Looks like he needs to get paroled. Like that guy's gonna need to be given parole.
Absolutely,
he's gonna be in jail first.
Do you ever? So I know you do, but just for the sake of the podcast, do you ever see something yourself and laugh like so hard that other people who have no idea what you're laughing about start laughing almost as loud and as equal as you? Because that happened to me and my wife. Because
that's the only way in person. That's usually the only way I get people to match my amount of ridiculousness.
Yeah, it's just to
by
co-opt them.
osmosis.
Right. So that's when I saw because I was watching it and I saw that come on the screen. I'm like, parole me on the 9th day of this.
9th day of this.
I was crying so hard, Ryan. It was like
I
I felt like I just ran a marathon. I was laughing so hard. Parole me on the 9th day of this. Anyway,
the thing I always love about the 12 Days of Christmas, the song,
and
they do it here, which I do appreciate in the music, is that the 12 Days of Christmas has like a pretty sick beat actually, because the beat gets flipped different times.
Oh, okay.
Like it, I can't really explain it, but if you listen to the song, at certain the way that it's laid out, like lyrically, okay, like with the beats, like in the syllables, there are certain phrases that they put in there that actually like they flip the meter of the song.
Oh, I know what you're saying.
Fun to sing, right? And
right.
Musically, what's happening is like you're singing it, and you have to remember not only how many numbers and what it is, but you have to remember that some of them flip. Like some of the meters flip over.
Yeah. So it's like a challenge a little bit.
And that's what makes it fun. Yeah, and this makes it fun to sing. But like I love it when there's drums to it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if the guy who's programming the drums is having fun with it,
Mm-hmm.
he flips that beat. And I gotta say, the guy who programmed the drums for this, I mean, they were still out of the Skinny Puppy sample pack, but he flipped that beat pretty damn well
Oh,
on
yeah.
those. And I gotta also add that one time, you want to talk about dying laughing for like something that's just like almost like incomprehensible to other people.
Right.
Father Preston and I at work one day, it was around Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just hanging out, and I just bust out laughing, like, because this thing occurred to me. I just keep laughing, and I can't stop. Preston's like, dude, what? Like, thinking like I saw something online or like on my phone, and I'm like, so when I finally got it out, like through the tears, I was like, okay, you gotta go with me on this. I just saw an image of like one of those YouTube drummers. You know, like those guys like, what's up, YouTube? And then they play along to like,
Oh, yeah.
different,
Like a drum cover.
covers.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like a drum cover guy. I just got this image of like, I mean, the most badass. Like this kid's like, he's like a young Travis Barker. You know, he looks like Travis Barker. He's got like the best drum kit, all the bullshit. He can play everything. He has double kick and everything. I got this image of this guy being like, all right, guys, hey, it's a drum cover of the 12 Days of Christmas, y'all. Check this out. And this kid with like the blonde hair like sticks up a little in the front.
Right.
He's got like the tattoos. He's like slaying 12 Days of Christmas. I just heard this in my head of like
Yeah.
him flipping the beat and doing the double kick drums and like the fills and like it getting fucking nuts. Like every verse of that stanza of that repeat, he did a different style beat and like it getting crazier and crazier and him being like face, like I got that out to Preston, right? It took me a minute, but I got that out to him,
Right.
and it hit him the same way it hit me. So he got like down in it,
Right.
and we were like choking over it, like crying, laughing over it, and we kept like on the like we were dying. Like,
So you had the air drums and everything because you have to at that point.
dude. Yeah, like I could hear it in my head.
That's amazing.
I could just hear it in my head.
Goodness. Well, speaking of things I can hear in my head, do you want to go down and the 12? I just asked if you wanted to go down. The 12 Days of Christmas, the Turtles
Does it go up
version.
and down?
It does. Do you want to ride it every day?
Can I get off?
You can. This is
I'm
a
in.
carousel. So what did the Turtles end up getting Splinter?
All right, you want to know the score?
I do.
You want to know what Splinter? Now this was from. We got Splinter nothing for Christmas.
0. Like 0.
With
Nil. Null.
1 hour of shopping remaining after that manic opera guy moment. After having a jam with the backyard gang,
Yep.
pushing a kid into a bunch of garbage cans and acting like they didn't do it.
Yep.
All these different things they did. Splinter came away with 12 April O'Neil autographs.
Yeah.
11 pairs of sneakers. That's like so many shoes for a guy who's never depicted wearing shoes.
Right. Exactly.
Like, ever shown wearing shoes.
Right.
10 yellow yo-yos. That sounds like a Dollar Tree.
It does. It does.
That was probably Mikey. That's a Dollar Tree. I bought all the yo-yos at the Dollar Tree.
Right.
They're probably all worthless. As obviously the only yo-yos of any actual value are Duncan yo-yos. You know what
Of
I'm
course.
saying?
Yeah.
And trust me, the thing that Splinter holds up, that's a dollar store yo-yo.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
pop back up.
Except no imitations.
9 narrow neckties because Splinter
It's fashionable.
It's not usually talked about, but Splinter was around this time was desperately trying out for a Quentin Tarantino film. He didn't make Reservoir Dogs.
Yep.
And during the filming of this was when they were filming Pulp Fiction, and he really tried for that too. And it turned out not working out, but that's why he had that narrow necktie thing.
They gave it to Uma Thurman.
So we got 8 chopsticks.
Nothing.
Which for you following along at home is 4 sets of chopsticks.
Right.
I hope that they weren't 8 like different individual chopsticks because that would just be obnoxious.
That would be.
If they were different sizes and widths and didn't match.
Right. Yeah. No, that'd be the worst.
So you couldn't make a full like set out of any of the 8. But I feel like that's what the Turtles would get him.
Yeah,
it's
more
like,
than likely.
These were over there left over from when we got Chinese food and stuff.
Precisely.
7 silk kimonos. Now that is a Splinter appropriate.
That is,
gift, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
6 frisbees.
I can get behind that.
You only need 1. True. 5 video games, and at one point, that's the 5 golden rings. That's the one that like goes to halftime.
Right.
And he like expresses a lot of like, oh, these kids. And I'm like, I mean, you want the video games? I mean, like,
yeah, like
I don't know, give them the turtles.
mm-hmm.
I don't know. Do you know how much 5 video games cost back then?
In the 90s? Oh yeah.
Fun fact, Eric, they cost the same as now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But when we were kids in the 90s, it seemed like a lot more. So
yeah. It was like the equivalent of like $60 today
mm-hmm.
a piece.
Yep. For like Super Nintendo games probably at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 4 manhole covers.
Okay.
Which means at least 4 New Yorkers
mm-hmm.
fell into the sewers and died.
Right, at least.
3 skateboards, 2 comic books, which earlier, if I'm not mistaken,
mm-hmm.
your boy's holding 3 issues of Adventures. So
yeah. So there's that. So what happened to the other one?
Make it
right
to Splinter.
Mm-mm.
And a pizza with pepperoni.
There you go. So that's a lot of gifts from nothing to all of that. Like, goodness.
This is at first because you see them like trying out shit. They're like, oh, what about this? What about this? Oh no, we'll give them the dumb pizza thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then it winds up they got it all.
Yeah. I thought they were just gonna give them the pizza, but then no, it's all of it.
Like, what Splinter get them?
Yeah. What's up with that?
Did he get them like a 1 month like discount on their weapons payments, or like?
Oh, it could be that, or he paid their Sony bill. Could be that.
Oh, he could have paid up, got him true on that Sony bill.
That's true. That is true. So, yeah, at this point, after the song, Splinter says some stuff about love and giving and thinking about people less fortunate than him and his family who were betrayed, kicked out of the homeland, and had their wife and or master's wife killed and were mutated into anthropomorphic creatures and forced to live in the sewers and have small children as servants, which I think is very humble of Splinter, just to think of other people like that. He's very optimistic, glass is always half full.
Yeah.
That's what I love about Splinter. And just then, I believe it's Mikey who orders a pizza, on their working payphone in the sewer, which is, which gets a lot of mileage in both of these things. And then we get to "We Wish You a Turtle Christmas." This is a mess, Ryan. Like, all the kids are here now. We got young Jason Schwartzman, young Ricky Martin, Andy Sandberg. I think Six and Blossom are in here too. Anyway, it looks like none of them know what's going on, and they all have to get it done in one take. So it's very weird. But they wish us a year of pizza with weird toppings, but no anchovies, which was a thing in the 90s, and a totally awesome new year.
No anchovies is a thing now.
It is, but
they're very polarizing.
It is very polarizing. So we roll credits, and towards the end, we get some post-credit voiceover of the Turtles talking about their songs and who came up with that Jamaican thing. Basically, everything that happened, they talk about it all. However, someone brings up Donatello got a Donatello watch, and how it's the hot thing this year, or something. And then somebody says something that they got it on right now, like they're wearing a Donatello watch, Ryan. And it just stopped working. Someone says, "Give me that." And that's how it ends, with "Give me some of that." That's how it ends. Like,
you
what?
Hope that they're talking about the pizza, but
they might be on another carousel. Wink, wink. Who knows? But that Donatello watch, like, what does that mean? Like, I have so many questions.
It's a great song about a carousel.
Does she have a song about a Donatello watch?
You have to listen for yourself.
Oh, dang. I wasn't expecting that.
Why would I?
I was hoping.
Why would I take you down the road? You know what I'm saying?
That's
You gotta
true.
get down the road.
Man, I was hoping to get the milk for free, but guess I'm buying the cow.
But
So
this cow's stingy.
this cow is stingy, and this podcast is getting long in the two. No, I you got a better
It's
one?
over.
Is over. That's hey, that works for
As
me.
I say this podcast, it is over.
It is over. Goodness. Well, guys, thank you so much for listening. And this is the end. Oh, I got to get my notes. My notes aren't even up, dude. So I'm like not even prepared.
So if you want to reach out to us,
Thank you.
You can reach out to us and send us an email to the show at turtlesoupshow@gmail.com. We're also online at turtlesoupshow.com. That's the home of the internet. You can find links to our podcast episodes, past episodes, all of the bands and other stuff that we're associated with. Also, there is YouTube, obviously. You could subscribe and follow us on there, get the notifications, do all that stuff. We do the live show every Thursday. Pre-game starts at 8 o'clock, and then the regular show starts at 8:30. We are on Facebook. We have the Facebook group. On Insta is Turtle Soup Show with underscores between the words. If you could like or subscribe on any podcast aggregator you're listening to this on, we are on Discord. We're about to drop the link to everybody here pretty soon. Our patrons are still on that exclusively, but we should be opening up to everybody here really soon. Let's see, and Patreon. Let me tell you, patrons make the world go round.
They
know
do.
What I'm saying?
They do indeed.
And I look at the new equipment that makes all this stuff possible,
Mm-hmm.
and I think, without the patrons, the Foot Clan would have destroyed the podcast. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Without a doubt.
April and Splinter, they pledged their support, and it's there, and you can count on them, and that's what the Turtles told us.
Indeed.
So, let me build a lattice work.
Oh,
It's a
goodness.
lattice
Oh, yeah.
work
That's
of
nice.
support, but you see those holes,
Mm-hmm.
and how you going to make the church with the steeple and all the people? You know what
That's
I'm
true.
saying?
With all them holes.
All the people are the patrons.
Right.
And they fill us up.
They do. They do indeed.
They fill it up. You know what I'm saying?
I do. And so, guys, if you want to be a patron, head on over to patreon.com. That's where everyone goes to become family here. And, you can sign up for a different tier. Like we keep saying, we got a new one coming up. Like, we're going to update everything this next coming month, and it's going to be great. And so lots of cool stuff happening there. But, we, again, want to thank you for all the inquiries we've got about the new Patreon stuff. A lot of people have been asking about, specifically about the tooth and nail bag of Farmer Greg's toenails. It's a hot item. And, because, and for those who don't know, it's called that because he bites them to acquire them. Like, that's how he tooth and nail, he bites them. And, but he can only grow them so fast. So we're going to try to find a way to get that incorporated into the Patreon, but we can't make any promises. But, you'll just have to keep checking back to it to see if it's going to be there or not. But nevertheless, we haven't forgot about it, and we're doing our best to help him grow those, so, and get those out to you. But anyway, well, guys, again, thank you so much for trudging through this nightmare fuel with us, and hopefully you have sweet dreams and a Merry Christmas and all kinds of
The
other
frogs
wonderful
don't
things.
Keep you awake.
Precisely. So
If you're in that world with me.
yeah. So all right. Well, I guess that's it. So else time.